The warp was unusually calm the night the signal arrived, calm in the same way a predator holds its breath before sinking its fangs into prey. On the bridge of the Imperial exploration vessel Vigilant Dawn, the atmosphere felt wrong. The crew could not have explained why, but every officer felt it. A tightening in their chest, a soft buzz behind the skull, a whisper at the edge of hearing that faded when confronted directly. Captain Lucia Vorn, an expressionless veteran of the Segmentum Tempestus, stood at the center of the bridge, arms crossed, visor reflecting the streams of data flowing down the display screens. "Report," she ordered, voice steady despite the weight in her gut. The communications officer, Adric Hale, swallowed hard. "Ma'am, we're picking up a repeating astropathic echo. It matches nothing in our codices. It's not Eldar, not Orc, not Tau, not even Necron. We don't know what it is." Vorn stepped forward. The echo played again, a scraping, rhythmic pulse, like something enormous dragging itself across the void, vibrating reality itself. Her blood chilled. She had heard stories in the Schola Progenitum, warnings really, whispers of a sound that shouldn't exist, a heartbeat the size of a continent, a hunger so vast that worlds vanished before a distress call could even be sent. Hale's hand trembled over his console. "Captain, I think it's biological." Vorn's jaw clenched. "Put it on the main display." The waveform expanded, revealing its structure. Spiraling tendrils branching from a central mass, repeating fractal-like, infinitely recursive. Not random, not mechanical, not human. It was a summoning, a map, a claim. The bridge fell silent. Vorn whispered the word no one wanted to speak. Tyranids. A ripple of dread swept the room. The Xenos that devoured stars, the high fleets that consumed all biomass, leaving only stripped planets and dead moons.
"Where is the echo originating?" she asked. Hale pinched the bridge of his nose, forcing the data into clarity. "A fringe agri-world on the edge of the Hyades expanse, designation Mornix 12. Is it still broadcasting?" "Yes, Captain, strong and increasing." Increasing. Vorn felt the blood drain from her face. The signal wasn't from the planet. It was coming through the planet, like a tongue tasting its first morsel. 2. The planet that should have been silent. When the Vigilant Dawn arrived in orbit, Mornix 12 looked like a corpse. The planet's fertile green surface was now gray, streaked with veins of unnatural purple. Forests had collapsed into mushy plains. Rivers had become thick slurries of unidentifiable biofluid. Even through the ship's aspect scares, Vorn felt like she was staring at an open wound. "Environmental readings?" she asked. The science officer, Lena Dre, was pale. "Captain, oxygen levels are down by 40%, CO2 up by 300%. Nitrogen conversion is unstable. It's as if the entire biosphere is being rewritten." "Life signs?" "Millions," Dre said, voice trembling, "but distorted, not human, not any known fauna." Hale cleared his throat. "Captain, the echo, it's changing."
The bridge hollow flickered. The signal's waveform was no longer spiraling outward. It was folding inward, condensing, solidifying. Dre shuddered. "It's becoming a synaptic command pulse." Vorn's stomach turned. "Meaning?" "The hive mind is focusing here." The ship shook, a slight vibration, subtle but deep, like the rumble of an enormous creature stirring. "Is that external?" Vorn demanded. "Negative," said the tech priest, Magos Aerith 9, his mechanical tendrils twitching. "The disturbance originates in the warp shadow surrounding this world." Vorn stared at the planet on screen. The ship's crew held their breath. This wasn't the aftermath of a Tyranid attack. This was the beginning. The lost colony. Vorn led the landing party personally. They descended through an atmosphere that felt thick, almost resistant. The gunship's hull groaned under invisible pressure. As they broke the clouds, the devastation became clearer.
Buildings sagged like melted wax. Crops on massive fields were stripped to barren stalks. Farmland machinery lay overturned, their surfaces corroded as if digested. On the horizon, black spires, organic structures, rose from the earth. They throbbed slowly, mechanicoid tendrils pulsing with bioluminescent fluid. Tyrannid spore chimneys, Dre whispered. But something was wrong with them. They were incomplete, half-grown, as if the High Fleet had not yet fully committed. Vorn felt a sliver of hope. Maybe they were early enough. The gunship landed at the colony's outskirts. The air smelled metallic and rotten. The ground felt soft underfoot, like stepping on tissue. Hale looked nauseous. "Ma'am?" Movement. From between the collapsed buildings, human shapes staggered into view. Former colonists, or what was left of them. Their skin was gray, veined with purple. Their eyes were glazed, unfocused. Their limbs twitched in unnatural rhythm. Dre raised a scanner, voice shaking.
"Captain, they're alive, but their DNA is being overwritten. They're becoming..." A colonist screamed, clutching his head, back arching. Bones snapped beneath skin, flesh writhed. Vorn shouted, "Fall back! They're mutating!" The colonist's jaw distended, mandibles tearing through his cheeks. Extra limbs burst from his ribs. His eyes split open like eggs, 3 more growing beneath. A proto-gaunt. Vorn fired her bolt pistol. The creature exploded into biomass mist. Dozens more colonists convulsed. This was not a planet being attacked. This was a planet being prepared. A vanguard infection. One that would spread to systems beyond counting if not stopped immediately. Ivy, the encounter beneath the earth. The team retreated toward the central complex of the colony, the only structure still standing. It was a fortified research station, sealed behind thick adamantium doors. As they entered, automatic lights flickered on. The interior was surprisingly intact, but the walls were scratched with frantic messages. They whisper beneath, "The earth is breathing. They are making us hear them. They know we are here. The hunger dreams through us." Hale exhaled shakily. "What happened to these people?" "Something new," Dre replied. Aerith 9's mechadendrites scraped across a terminal. Logs remain viable, accessing. The screen buzzed. A terrified researcher's face appeared. "This is Dr. Malvraven. To anyone receiving this, we are not under attack. We are being called. Something beneath the crust, it speaks. Not aloud, not with sound, but with desire. We hear it in our sleep. We feel it when we eat. It knows our thoughts, and it is hungry." Another log. "The biomass harvesters stopped responding. Machinery is dissolving. Soil has become alive. It pulses. It tastes us." Another. "We found tunnels, organic, breathing, leading deep into the mantle. Something moves down there, something vast. It is not a High Fleet. It is a seed." The next fragment was corrupted. Only the final line was clear. "We dug too deep. Emperor, forgive us." Vorn felt the hair rise on her arms. "Magos, what is beneath us?" "A synaptic core organism," Aerith 9 replied. "Likely a tyrannid dominatrix embryo or similar command entity. The High Fleet sends such seeds ahead of their arrival to infest and prepare worlds." Dre swallowed. "So the High Fleet is coming?" "No," Aerith 9 said. Everyone looked at him. "It is already here, within the warp shadow, growing." The ground vibrated, a slow, rhythmic pulse, like a heartbeat. V, the pulse from the deep. The team descended into the colony's lower levels, following the tunnels described in the logs. The metal corridors gave way to something disturbingly biological. The floor became warm, spongy, walls glistened with mucus. The air pulsed. Hale gagged. "The atmosphere tastes like protein." Dre scanned.
The entire subterranean layer is being converted into an incubator. A deep roar echoed, muffled by miles of earth, but immense. Vorn froze. That wasn't natural. No, Aerith 9 said flatly. That was a birthing call. The tunnel opened into a massive underground cavern, illuminated by glowing sacs embedded in the walls.
They pulsed like eggs, each containing dark silhouettes twitching inside. Gaunts, warriors, rippers, creatures not yet given form. At the cavern's center lay the massive shape of a cocoon, hundreds of meters long, wrapped in sinew and bone-like plates, feeding from a web of tendrils stretching miles into the ground. A nascent synapse titan, a living cathedral of hunger, a hive queen waiting to be born. Dre took a step back. Captain, if that thing hatches, it will create a synapse network strong enough to guide an entire hive fleet. Vorn felt the weight of the moment. If they destroyed this organism now, they could delay the hive fleet long enough for the Imperium to respond. If they failed, humanity would lose another sector. 6. The first swarm. A screech pierced the cavern. Emerging from the egg sacs, dozens of creatures burst forth, still dripping with embryonic fluid. Their limbs snapped into place, growing blades, their mouths unfolded. Gene stealer variants, adapted for subterranean growth. Defensive positions, Vorn shouted. The creatures charged. Bolter fire tore through the cavern, echoing in thunderous bursts. Aerith 9 arced crackling electricity. Hale fired plasma until his weapon overheated. Dre hurled a flash charge that temporarily blinded several of the Xenos. But more emerged. Hundreds. Their claws clicked in unison, forming a terrible rhythm. The heartbeat of the swarm. "Captain," Hale cried, "there are too many. We have to fall back." Vorn did not look at him. She fired another bolt round into a creature sprinting toward her. "We don't retreat," she said quietly. "We find a way to destroy the synapse core." Dre pointed toward the far end of the cavern. "Captain, there, look!"
A ventilation tunnel, half digested but intact, led downward, and from it emanated a faint glow, mechanical, not biological. "Could be the geothermal regulators," Dre said. "If we reroute them, we might induce a thermal collapse." Vorn nodded. "Move." The team sprinted toward the tunnel. Creatures lunged from every direction. Hale screamed as one clawed his leg, but Vorn's bolt pistol blew its head apart. Aerith 9's mechadendrites severed another in two. The swarm roared in fury as the humans escaped into the narrow passage. For now. 7. The heart of the planet. The geothermal chamber was a mechanical cathedral of pistons, heat vents, and core stabilizers. Unlike the surface, this machinery was largely untouched. Dre immediately accessed the controls. "We can overload the core, cause a chain reaction. The whole subterranean structure will collapse." "How long until detonation?" Vorn asked. "Maybe 10 minutes if the Xenos don't interfere." The ground shook violently. "They know we're here," whispered Hale. From the tunnel behind them, the screeching rose, a tidal wave of hunger echoing through stone. Aerith 9 began locking down the chamber doors. "This may not hold them." Vorn raised her weapon. "Then we make it hold." The chamber lights flickered as Dre rerouted the geothermal flows. The temperature rose instantly. The floor vibrated. Steam hissed from vents. Dre's hands flew across the controls. "We're close, just another 2 minutes." The door behind them buckled. Claws burst through the metal.
A dozen Genistealers forced their way in. The fight was brutal, close quarters, desperate, bloody. Hale fell back, firing wildly. Aerith 9's augmetics were torn into, metal shrieking. Vorn smashed the butt of her pistol into a creature's skull, then fired point blank into its throat. Dre screamed as a Genistealer leapt toward her, and Vorn tackled it, rolling across the floor, blade in hand. She stabbed it through the eye, purple ichor spraying across her visor. The chamber console beeped. "Thermal cascade engaged," Dre cried. "We have 90 seconds." The doors burst open completely. Hundreds of Tyranids swarmed the tunnels. Hale stared in horror. "We're not getting out of here alive." Vorn gritted her teeth. "The Emperor didn't bring us here to die for nothing. Move." The team sprinted toward the emergency lift. Behind them, the cavern's core shook violently. The heat became unbearable. Biostructures collapsed. The synaptic cocoon writhed in agony. The swarm howled with rage. The world was beginning to die. 8. Escape. The lift rocketed upward through the collapsing colony. Flames burst around them. The earth roared like a beast. Tendrils snapped. The synaptic pulse screamed through the airwaves. Then, silence.
The lift doors opened onto the surface. The sky was burning purple. The ground cracked. Spires of bioorganic matter shriveled under the heat. The world's synaptic embryo was dying. The tyrannid infection was collapsing. But Vorn looked up, and her blood froze. In orbit above the planet's edge, something massive shimmered through the warp. A shadow larger than continents, a shape of living hunger, a high fleet tendril. Dre whispered in horror. "We didn't stop it. We only angered it." Vorn clenched her fists. "No, we delayed it, and now we warn the Imperium." The gunship rose into the sky as the planet beneath them cracked apart, the synapse core exploding in a wave of purple fire. Humanity had won a moment, but the High Fleet was coming.
The vigilant dawn trembled as the gunship docked, the shockwaves from Mornix 12's dying crust still rippling through space. Captain Lucia Vorn stepped onto the deck with the others, bloodied, bruised, shaken, but alive. Alarms screamed across the bridge. "Captain on deck!" an ensign cried, but Vorn raised a hand. "Status report." Lieutenant Harrow spun from the sensor arrays, face drained of all color. "Ma'am, the object in low orbit is growing. No, unfolding. It's not a ship. It's a bioconstruct, a living organism the size of a battleship." The forward holoscreen flickered. The creature, an enormous serpentine mass of chitin and bone, drifted through orbit, shedding spores that glimmered like purple snow. Mandibles the size of manufactorum spires cracked open along its length. It pulsed with synaptic light. Dre gasped. "That's no ship. That's a hive node leviathan." Such organisms were unheard of outside major fleets. They were strategic synapse amplifiers, living antennae linking ground infections to distant high fleets through the shadow and the warp. And they were never deployed alone. Vorn took a slow breath. How long until the main high fleet arrives? Aerith 9's augmentic lenses flickered. Based on the warp disturbances, hours, maybe less. A cold silence swept the bridge. Hale looked to Vorn. "Captain, what do we do?" Vorn stared at the planet below, the fractured surface collapsing in purple fire. They had won the battle underground, but above them, a war the size of galaxies approached. "We do what humanity has always done," Vorn said quietly. "We endure, and we warn others." 2. The impossible decision. The Vigilant Dawn accelerated away from Mornix 12, its engines screaming as they pushed toward maximum output. The enormous hive leviathan slowly rotated, following their trajectory with blind, many-eyed focus. Its presence pressed against human minds, an oppressive psychic weight, like the air before a storm. Aerith 9 turned toward Vorn. "Captain, calculations indicate that if the Leviathan completes synaptic alignment, it will broadcast the planet's biomass signature to the approaching fleet." "And then," Vorn asked, "the entire sector will be marked for harvesting."
Dre's hands trembled. Millions of worlds. Vorn felt a pit open in her stomach. Options. Hale wiped sweat from his forehead. "We can't outrun it. We can't outgun it. We can't even get a message through the shadow in the warp." Aerith 9 nodded. "Communication is impossible until the shadow collapses." Vorn frowned. "Collapse requires disrupting the synaptic link." "Correct, which means destroying the Leviathan." Everyone stared at him. Destroying a hive-node Leviathan was suicide for a single frigate. Even a full Imperial cruiser would have struggled. Hale spoke what everyone feared. "Captain, if we attack that thing, we'll die." Vorn looked at the creature on the screen, its body slowly unraveling into tendrils of psychic light. "No," she said softly, "we'll buy time." Third, the enemy moves first. The vigilant Dawn veered, preparing for a long-range barrage, but before they could fire a single round, the Leviathan convulsed. Its exoskeleton split open. A column of psychic energy blasted outward, swirling into the void like a vortex of violet fire. The entire ship buckled under the pressure. Hale screamed, clutching his head, "It's inside my skull." Dre collapsed, hands over her ears. "Make it stop!" Vorn's vision blurred. Echoes, voices that weren't voices, filled her thoughts. "Hunger, flesh, all will fall. We are coming." She forced her mind back into control. Shields to maximum. Shields collapsing. Harrow shouted, "We can't hold."
The psychic blast intensified. Then, a thunderous boom rattled the hull. A bioplasma orb the size of a gunship streaked past them and impacted the remains of Mornix 12, splitting its crust like an egg. Aerith 9 calculated instantly. The Leviathan has fired its first compressive spore cannon. If one hits us, we vaporize, Vorn finished. The Leviathan turned its grotesque head toward them. It had noticed, and it was hungry. IV, the first barrage. "Evasive maneuvers," Vorn shouted. The helmsman veered violently to port. A second bioplasma orb shot past, grazing their aft shields with a sound like tearing metal. "Shields at 40%, Harrow yelled. The Leviathan's tendrils curled inward, gathering energy again. Hale gripped his console. "It's charging another!" The ship lurched forward. Vorn steadied herself, voice calm despite the chaos. "Target its sensory cluster. Fire all forward lance batteries." The gunners obeyed.
Bright spears of light streaked across the void, slicing into the Leviathan's head. Its flesh blistered, chitin plates cracked. The creature let out a psychic roar that rattled every mind on board. Dre gasped. "We heard it." "No," Vorn said, eyes narrowing. "We got its attention." The Leviathan's body rippled. Hundreds of smaller creatures emerged along its flanks, living torpedoes with skeletal wings. Aerith 9 identified them instantly. Gargoyle spores. They will attach to our hull and drain power systems. Vorn exhaled slowly. "We don't have time for this." The gargoyles screeched toward the vigilant Dawn. "Point defense cannons, fire!" Vorn commanded. Autocannons shredded dozens, but hundreds remained. They slammed against the hull in wet impacts. Lights flickered. "Systems warning. Hull contact. Organic parasites detected." The ship shook violently. Hale screamed, "They're trying to chew through the outer layers." Aerith 9 swung several mechadendrites to the emergency override, activating thermal purge. A wave of heat surged across the outer hull. Many gargoyles burned away, but a few had already burrowed inward. Dre's voice rose in panic. "If they reach the power cores—" "They won't," Vorn said, gripping her bolt pistol. "Boarding team with me. We kill them ourselves." V. Into the breach. The corridor lights flickered as Vorn, Hale, and a squad of ship security raced toward the aft sectors. The walls thumped and groaned as something dug inside them. A screech echoed, wet, insectoid, hateful. The floor bulged, then split. A gargoyle hybrid burst through, a twisted creature of wings and claws, fused with parasite tendrils. It lunged at Hale, knocking him to the ground. Vorn fired point blank. The creature's skull exploded, spraying ichor across the walls. More cracks formed in the ceiling. Security fired as another 3 burst in. Claws slashed, metal shrieked. A guardsman screamed as he was dragged upward into the ceiling vents. Vorn grit her teeth. "Seal that vent." Hale stumbled to his feet, panting. "There's too many. They're everywhere." "Stay focused," Vorn barked. She turned to the squad. "Flamers!" 2 guardsmen stepped forward, igniting the corridors with roaring promethium. The parasites shrieked, wings burning away. Their bodies thudded to the floor, twitching. Then the walls shook violently. Aerith 9's voice crackled over comms. "Warning, the Leviathan is preparing another spore cannon discharge." Vorn cursed.
We don't have time. We return to the bridge now. They sprinted through the smoke-filled corridor as another parasite burst from the wall behind them. But this one was different. Larger, armored, a hive breacher. It slammed its claw into the deck, splitting metal. Hale tripped. The creature lunged at him, and Vorn threw herself into its path, firing her bolt pistol into its mouth. The creature snapped down, nearly crushing her arm. Dre appeared from behind and shoved a plasma cutter into the breacher's eye. It screeched, flailing, then fell still. Vorn gasped for breath. Move. Now. They ran. VI, the choice that changes everything. The bridge was chaos when they arrived. Sparks rained from the ceiling. Smoke billowed. The Leviathan loomed larger on the screen, its cannon fully charged. Harrow shouted, "Impact in 10 seconds." Hale screamed, "We can't take a direct hit." Aerith 9 stood perfectly still, processing. Then he turned to Vorn. "There is a way to survive." Vorn narrowed her eyes. "Explain." The tech priest gestured to the void outside. "A Leviathan this size generates a gravity well when it charges its cannon. If we maneuver close enough, dangerously close, we could use the gravity field to slingshot past the blast." Dre stared in horror. "That's suicide." "Statistically," Aerith 9 nodded. "Yes." Hale stepped forward. "Captain, if we get too close, its feeder tendrils will tear us apart."
Vorn looked around at her crew, their fear, their exhaustion, their trust. Their world depended on warning the Imperium. But she knew the truth. If they kept running, they would die. If they fought head-on, they would die. If they gambled, they might live long enough to save millions. Vorn inhaled slowly. "Helm," she said. "Yes, Captain?" "Take us toward the Leviathan." The room went silent. Hale whispered, "Emperor, protect us." 7. The slingshot. The vigilant dawn roared toward the Leviathan's enormous form. Its tendrils snapped like living cables. Its cannon glowed brighter, building to overload. "Distance 10,000 meters, Harrow shouted. The gravity field tugged at the ship, first gently, then violently. Metal groaned, the hull stretched. 7,000 meters. The Leviathan pristed, angling its massive head toward them. Vorn gripped the command chair. Hold course. Hale screamed as gravity pulled him sideways, nearly lifting him from the floor. 4,000 meters. Red warning lights flashed. Warning, structural integrity compromised. 2,000 meters. The Leviathan fired. A beam of bioplasma erupted, an ocean of purple light. Now, Vorn shouted. The helm slammed the thrusters. The vigilant dawn whipped around the Leviathan, using its gravity like a catapult. The plasma beam grazed the ship's tail, melting armor instantly. Explosions ripped across the deck. Alarms blared. But they were still alive.
The slingshot launched them violently out of range, spinning, burning, but free. Hale collapsed to his knees, laughing hysterically. We survived. We actually survived. Dre sighed in relief. We're clear of its firing arc. Aerith 9's lenses flickered. Captain, the Leviathan is recalibrating. It will pursue. Vorn nodded. And we're damaged, badly. Harrow turned slowly from his console. Captain, we have another problem. Vorn braced herself. What now? He swallowed. The warp shadow is deepening. Sensors indicate a massive biological signature emerging. Dre froze. That can't be. Hale leaned toward the screen, eyes wide as terror dawned. Oh, God, Emperor. They're here.
8. The High Fleet arrives. Space rippled. Stars bent like reflections on disturbed water. The warp screamed silently. And then, from the darkness, an armada of living nightmares unfolded. Kilometer-long bioships, tendril barges, spore-warping colossi, dorsal fins that cut through void like blades. Countless organisms drifted into real space with terrible grace. A full High Fleet tendril. Aerith 9 identified it instantly. Designation unknown. Pattern resembles Leviathan and Behemoth hybridization. Dre whispered. A new fleet. The bridge was silent. Hale's voice trembled. Captain, what do we do now? Vorn looked at the impossible wall of living ships ahead of them.
Humanity couldn't outrun this, couldn't hide, couldn't survive without warning. But there was one way. A desperate, insane, impossible way. She turned to the crew. We go into the warp. Dre choked. Captain, the warp shadow. I know. It will tear our ship apart. I know. We won't make it 10 seconds. I know. Vorn stepped forward, voice steady. But if we stay here, we die now. If we jump, we might die later. And if we survive even a few seconds in the warp, we might send a single message through. That message, she said, could save billions. The crew stared at her. Then Hale nodded, trembling. Dre wiped her eyes and stepped to her console. Aerith 9 bowed his mechanical head. Vorn took her command throne. All hands, she said, prepare for emergency warp translation. The engines screamed as they powered up. The High Fleet moved to intercept, enormous ships vomiting swarms of biotorpedoes. The Leviathan behind them charged its cannon again. The cosmos itself seemed to close around them like jaws. "Jump engines ready," Dre shouted. Vorn raised her hand. "Translate." The Vigilant Dawn surged forward and tore into the warp.
Into the maelstrom. The warp engulfed them like a living storm. Red lightning clawed at the hull. Shadows with impossible limbs scraped across the void. Whispering voices begged, screamed, pleaded. The ship rattled violently. Hale vomited. Dre clung to her console. Aerith 9's metallic voice cut through the chaos. Shields collapsing, hull strain approaching critical. "Find a stable current," Vorn shouted. "There are no stable currents," Dre screamed. "The shadow in the warp is here too. It's following us." The psychic weight of the Tyranid hive mind pressed into the warp, distorting it, hunting them even here. The ship lurched. Panels exploded. A rift opened ahead, purple and black, pulsing like a wound. Hale cried out, "What is that?" Aerith 9's voice turned eerily calm. "A synaptic tear. The High Fleet is reaching for us." Dre shouted, "We're being dragged toward it." Vorn tightened her grip. "All engines, full reverse." But nothing happened. The tear grew. Tendrils of warp energy reached for the ship like claws. Hale sobbed, "Captain, we're going to die." "Not today," Vorn whispered. Then, a voice echoed through the warp. Not Tyranid, not demonic. Human. "Imperial vessel, hold your course." A beam of golden light burst through the warp storm. The ship shuddered and was pulled free.
The light in the darkness. The Vigilant Dawn shot out of the warp like a bullet, tumbling into real space. Sparks rained across the bridge. Smoke filled the air. Hale coughed violently. What saved us?" A deep voice crackled through the comms, powerful and resonant. "This is the Adeptus Custodes strike cruiser Auric Mantle. You are safe now, children of humanity." Dre gasped. "Custodes? Here?" The comms continued. "Prepare to dock. You carry information the Emperor must hear." Vorn stared at the blinding golden ship ahead, the most elite warriors in the galaxy, arriving at the exact moment of their doom. Relief washed over her. But she also knew this was only the beginning. The High Fleet was coming, and humanity had only hours to prepare.
Adaptive morph warriors, Aerith 9 identified. They have evolved since Mornix 12. Vorn raised her rifle. "Custodes, take point." The custodians surged forward, golden giants cleaving a path through the swarm. Their guardian spears cut warriors in half with surgical precision. But the Tyranids adapted. One warrior grew scythe blades of shimmering bioplasma. Another extended its limbs like serpents.
A third grew bony protrusions that deflected spear thrusts. Hale fired his rifle repeatedly. "They're evolving as we fight." Dre shouted, "We have to keep moving." Thane roared, slamming his spear into the ground. A shockwave of golden energy blasted outward, pulping 3 warriors at once. The rest withdrew, hissing. Vorn breathed hard. They're guarding something. That was a delaying tactic. Aerith 9 turned toward a massive arterial tunnel pulsing ahead. That direction. The synaptic heart lies beyond. Hale stared nervously into the shadows. And what's guarding it? A new sound answered him. A deep, resonating thrum, like a heartbeat combined with a scream.
Fiend squared his shoulders. A tyrant. The Synapse Tyrant. The tunnel opened into a vast chamber, larger than a cathedral, its walls alive with tendrils and shifting membranes. At its center pulsed a crystalline mass of glowing purple tissue. The synaptic heart. And before it stood the Guardian. A tyrannid hive tyrant unlike any seen before. Its body was elongated, serpentine, armored with interlocking plates. Wings of jagged bone extended from its back. Its claws were scythes of pulsing synaptic fire. Its skull bore a crown of neural nodules that crackled with lightning. Aerith 9 whispered, "A Synapse Sovereign, new classification." Dre trembled. "Can we kill it?" Thane stepped forward, spear raised. "We must." The tyrant screamed, unleashing a psychic shockwave that slammed the team backward. Custodians dug their boots into the flesh floor. Hale crashed against a wall, blood spraying from his nose. Dre clutched her head, screaming. Vorn pushed herself upright, vision blurred. The creature's psychic pressure was suffocating, like drowning in the raw hatred of a starved god. The tyrant leapt.
Thane intercepted, spear clashing against scythe blades. Sparks of synaptic fire showered the chamber. The custodian barely held his ground. Another custodian charged in from the side, and the tyrant impaled him through the chest, lifting him like a rag doll. Dre screamed. The tyrant hurled the dead custodian aside, pivoting with impossible grace. Its tail whipped out, smashing Aerith 9 into a wall. Plates bent, wires snapped. The tech priest fell, twitching. "Aerith!" Hale shouted. Vorn charged the tyrant, firing her bolt gun at its face. The bolts exploded, chitin shattered, acid blood sprayed. But the wound closed instantly. The tyrant's flesh adapted like liquid armor. Vorn stumbled back. How do we kill something that heals that fast? Thane blocked a scythe blow with his spear, by striking faster. The tyrant kicked him with a taloned leg, sending him crashing across the chamber. Dre crawled toward her fallen plasma cutter. Hale fired wildly at the creature, managing to scorch its wings. The tyrant turned, focusing on Hale. And Vorn moved without thinking. She tackled Hale out of the way just as the tyrant's tail blades slashed down, carving a trench where he had been standing. Hale gasped, "You saved me!" "Don't thank me yet," Vorn growled. The tyrant roared. Thane rose again. "Captain Vorn, aim for the neural crown. It is the key to its regeneration." Vorn's eyes widened. "Dre, your cutter." Dre tossed it. Vorn caught it mid-run. The tyrant lunged.
Thane intercepted, locking it in combat for a single heartbeat. One heartbeat was enough. Vorn leapt onto the tyrant's back, scrambling toward the neural crown. The creature shrieked, thrashing violently. Its spine stabbed toward her, but Hale fired, knocking its aim off. Vorn slammed the plasma cutter into the tyrant's skull. The cutter burned through chitin, through flesh, through synaptic bone. The tyrant screamed in raw psychic agony. Lightning tore across the chamber. The synaptic heart pulsed erratically. Warriors in distant tunnels convulsed. Vorn screamed as the psychic backlash hit her mind like a meteor. And then, the tyrant collapsed, dead. 8. The heart must die. Vorn staggered to her feet, dizzy and bleeding. Hale helped her steady herself. Thane approached the synaptic heart. "Captain, the final blow is yours." Vorn stared. "Me?" "You survived the hunger's voice. You wounded the Leviathan, and you killed its sovereign. End this."
Aerith 9 limped forward, badly damaged but functional. Captain Vorn, a disruption charge placed within the heart will sever the Norn's control over Luna. Dre held out the charge. Lucia, end it. Vorn stepped forward. The synaptic heart pulsed as though watching her, whispering to her, tempting her. Join us. Become us. End hunger forever. She gritted her teeth. Burn in hell. She slammed the charge deep into the heart. The chamber screamed.